Right now on Good Morning America, first look, new video from the war in Iran as the Pentagon vows to dramatically surge firepower, the new targets, and what President Trump is now saying about how the new leader of Iran will be chosen.
A developing story, the new plan by the Trump administration to stabilize gas prices, which are up 30 cents per gallon since the war began.
Breaking overnight, reported tornadoes hitting the plains, a mother and daughter killed.
Kristi Noem ousted from her role as Homeland Security Chief. What we're learning was the final straw for President Trump.
The deadly plane crash near Chicago, why the pilot is being hailed a hero by neighbors on the ground.
The arrest in a killing spree in rural Utah, the female victims targeted at random.
What's next for Britney Spears after her arrest in California?
And the skier buried by an avalanche for 4 hours. How his wife helped save his life.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Battah. We begin with new video from the war zone as we prepare to mark 1 week since the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran.
President Trump says he wants to be personally involved in choosing the new leader of Iran. But despite the devastating attacks on their infrastructure and their navy, experts tell the Washington Post the Iranian regime remains surprisingly resilient.
Here at home, the Trump administration is taking new action to address gas prices, which are up 30 cents per gallon. That's since the war began. Those details in a moment, but our coverage begins with ABC's Marcus Moore. He's in Doha, Qatar. Marcus, good morning.
Hey, Hannah and Sophie, good morning to you. 7 days into this war, the Pentagon says the firepower over Iran is about to surge dramatically, and this morning we are seeing some proof of that.
Overnight, U.S. Central Command releasing video showing a strike targeting an Iranian drone carrier, part of a broader mission to sink the entire Iranian Navy.
We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier.
Video also shows the U.S. striking these hangars at an Iranian airbase. Multiple aircraft were reportedly destroyed. Israel releasing video of this mid-air dogfight over Iran, saying its F-35 shot down an Iranian warplane. ABC News now verifying the U.S. and Israel have damaged or destroyed 13 Iranian missile bases deep underground. Israel claims at least 60% of Iran's missile launchers have now been taken out.
Ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one.
But Iran continues to strike across the Middle East. Here in Doha, guests of this hotel spotting missiles intercepted just overhead. Hotels also targeted in Bahrain, where this oil refinery was struck by Iranian missiles. Air defense systems firing, but missing the missiles. And now, another country in the crosshairs. Azerbaijan says it was targeted by Iranian drones, one landing near a school. Iran denies it was behind the attack. Israel and the U.S., meanwhile, say they're moving into a new phase of the war.
As we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild.
President Trump tells ABC News he wants to make sure a future U.S. president doesn't have to face a hostile Iran, saying, quote, "We don't want some president in 10 years to get stuck with this problem and not know what to do with it." Iran's foreign minister vowing to fight, saying his country is not interested in negotiating. Asked how long this war would last, President Trump saying, quote, "It's over when I want it to be." He says he has several names in mind for the potential next leader of Iran, making it clear he will get the final say. Trump saying, quote, "We don't want them to put anybody in there unless it is approved by us." He says the late Ayatollah's son is not an acceptable option.
And in the meantime, Iran is keeping up its attacks across the region. In fact, early this morning, alerts went out warning of incoming missiles and drones here in Doha. Defense officials say Iran targeted the Al Udeid air base once again, and those projectiles were intercepted and no injuries or damage reported. Hannah, Sophie.
Marcus, thank you. Now to the cost of this war, not just for the military, but for American consumers, including those at the gas pump. Overnight, the U.S. Treasury unveiling a plan to bring gas prices back down as war rages in the Middle East, choking off the crucial Strait of Hormuz supply route. The new plan? Lift penalties on Russia to help boost global oil supplies, a major shift in policy. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announcing a temporary 30-day waiver that'll allow officials in India to buy Russian oil.
This is a very brief change in policy just to keep oil prices down a little bit better than we could otherwise.
Gas prices in the U.S. are up 30 cents from last week, now averaging $3.27 a gallon, the highest in nearly 2 years. Analysts predict prices could rise to an average of $3.50 within 2 weeks. As for the military cost of this war, a bipartisan think tank estimates the first 100 hours of U.S. attacks in Iran cost $3.7 billion, nearly $900 million per day. The cost and scope of operations in Iran still firmly in President Trump's control. House lawmakers now joining senators rejecting an effort to rein in the president's war powers.
We are not at war. This is a limited operation. It's an operation that's limited in its scope and duration. It has a very clear mission, and that mission is nearly accomplished.
More Americans fleeing the Middle East have returned home after days of travel chaos and confusion.
I couldn't be more relieved to be home.
Heather Doherty now back in San Francisco after 5 long days stuck in Dubai.
I spent the first night huddled on the floor next to my bed, worried about the windows exploding. So, you hear alerts going off, you hear explosions in the sky.
The State Department says more than 20,000 Americans have returned from the Middle East since the war started, about half getting help from the government. We'll have more from the Middle East later on in this newscast and all day on our streaming service, ABC News Live.
The other big story this morning, Kristi Noem is out as Homeland Security Chief. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details about the shakeup. Nicole, good morning.
Sophie, good morning to you. This is the first cabinet departure of the president's second term, and now we're learning what prompted President Trump to make the big change at Homeland Security.
I'm Kristi Noem.
Sources say the breaking point for President Trump when it came to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was this $220 million taxpayer-funded ad campaign featuring Noem galloping near Mount Rushmore. Senator John Kennedy pressed Noem about those ads during a hearing this week.
The president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Overnight, the president saying, quote, "I spent less money than that to become president. I didn't know about it." The New York Post also reporting Trump was not happy with Noem's answer this week when she was asked about her relationship with her advisor, Corey Lewandowski.
Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
President Trump praised Noem's work securing the southern border, but she came under fire for claiming that Alex Preddy and Renee Good, 2 Americans killed by federal agents in Minneapolis, were domestic terrorists. Trump now nominating Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to take over for Noem. He's a former mixed martial artist and business owner who's also a member of the Cherokee Nation. Mullen is already trying to bridge the gap, telling our Rachel Scott that Kristi Noem is his friend.
She was tasked to do a very difficult job, and I think she has performed the best she can do underneath the circumstances.
And President Trump is not firing Noem. He's now appointing her special envoy for a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere involving a coalition of Latin American countries. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez has ended his bid for re-election one day after admitting he had an affair with an aide who later died by suicide. Gonzalez was under investigation by the Ethics Committee. House leaders had urged him to withdraw.
A 75-year-old pilot killed in a plane crash north of Chicago is being called a hero for his actions before the crash. Neighbors say he guided his Cessna away from homes as the plane was plunging to the ground. The experienced pilot had flown from Madison, Wisconsin on a foggy night.
He flew towards the tree lines, so the trees will stop the plane a little bit, so he didn't crash into the house, which saved a lot of lives.
Certainly did. One home was damaged. Authorities are now investigating what caused the crash.
Turning to the weather and some breaking news overnight, at least 2 deaths are reported after a tornado in northern Oklahoma. A mother and daughter were killed, apparently while driving in the storm in Major County. Let's check your Friday forecast.
Good morning. Severe weather is expanding across the middle of the country, all the way from Texas up into the Great Lakes. We're seeing the last of the wintry weather leave eastern New England today. It'll still be cold and damp across the Northeast, but just cloudy for most of the afternoon. Then the severe weather, Tulsa to Oklahoma during the afternoon and evening hours, some storms near Chicago, and more rounds during the overnight. Cedar Rapids, Chicago down to Little Rock. We're concerned about a tornado threat, especially across parts of Oklahoma into Arkansas, and another threat on Saturday. One area near Pittsburgh, another near Houston. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the college basketball coach accused of leading a shocking double life.
But first, the arrest in a killing spree in rural Utah. Women targeted at random.
And the skier buried by an avalanche for 4 hours. How his wife helped save his life.
We're back with new details about a killing spree in rural Utah. We're now hearing from a man who says he met the suspect just before he allegedly carried out a series of brutal crimes.
This morning, police say this 22-year-old from Iowa has confessed to a terrifying crime spree across rural Utah, where 3 women were murdered at random.
As far as it's a very tragic situation, we don't believe he's targeted these for any specific reason other than just for convenience.
Investigators say Ivan Miller was on a road trip when he hit an elk, and his truck had to be towed. Desperate to return to Iowa, they say he broke into the home of an 86-year-old woman and shot her while she was watching TV, then stole her Buick. But police say Miller did not like the car, so he drove to a nearby hiking trail and ambushed 2 friends, shooting and stabbing the women and stealing their Subaru. The victim's husband used a phone app to track the Subaru, leading police on a manhunt, which ended in Colorado, where Miller was arrested.
It's going to be something that definitely shakes the community for a little while.
His brother says Miller suffered mental health issues, but the tow truck driver, who says he met Miller after he hit that elk, spoke to our affiliate, KTVX, and says nothing appeared unusual.
Said that he was traveling through and he needed to get back to Iowa to help his brother with some construction work, and I didn't notice anything abnormal.
If convicted, Miller could face the death penalty.
A former college basketball coach accused of living a double life is facing serious charges. Kevin Mays played for Cal State Bakersfield before being hired as an assistant. ESPN reports he's being held on charges of operating as a pimp in 4 states. Mays has pleaded not guilty.
In Washington state, a skier buried by an avalanche was rescued after being trapped in the snow for 4 hours. Michael Harris's wife got worried when he didn't return her phone calls. So she used her iPhone to pinpoint his location and shared it with Ski Patrol. They pulled him to safety, unconscious, but he's now on the road to recovery.
I started to see the snow below me and these large slats or slabs start to rush down the mountain. And I realized that because of the weight of the snow that I was about to go for a ride.
Didn't think twice about acting in regards to I'm getting to my husband no matter what.
Harris's body temperature had dipped into the 70s. Coming up, the big outage at Amazon.
Also ahead, what's next for Britney Spears after her arrest in California? Back now with the discovery in this swamp in Ecuador. Officials seizing a narco submarine 115 feet long. They say it was hidden in that nature reserve and was about to embark on a drug smuggling mission.
Amazon says an outage that took down its website for hours yesterday has been resolved. It blames a software update. Amazon says Iranian drone strikes, which damaged 3 data centers in the Middle East, played no role in the outage. Six Flags is selling 7 of its amusement parks. The price tag, $330 million. They will all stay open this year. Six Flags says it will now focus on other parks that do more business.
We turn now to Britney Spears, in trouble again. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, a representative for Britney Spears acknowledges the singer needs help after she was arrested on suspicion of DUI in California. Her rep saying this was an unfortunate incident that is completely inexcusable. Britney is going to take the right steps and comply with the law, and hopefully this can be the first step in long overdue change that needs to occur in Britney's life. California Highway Patrol was notified of an erratic driver weaving in and out of lanes Wednesday night, nearly crashing into other cars.
The black BMW sedan in and out of lanes and near TC is now speeding.
Police say she showed signs of impairment and submitted to sobriety tests. She was then arrested, accused of being under the influence of drugs and alcohol. It's not the first time she's had a run-in with police. In 2007, she was charged with a misdemeanor hit and run. More recently, in 2023, she was stopped by police twice within 1 month, accused of speeding and crossing double yellow lines.
Okay, you haven't gotten your license yet? I stopped you a few weeks ago and you're supposed to get your license.
And fans have expressed concern about her often bizarre posts on social media. Back in 2021, fans cheered after a judge freed Spears from a conservatorship, which had given her father control over much of her life for 13 years.
I felt like my family threw me away. I was performing for thousands of people. I was a machine.
But now, after this latest setback, Spears' sons are expected to visit her in hopes of helping her get well. Her rep saying her boys are going to be spending time with her. Her loved ones are going to come up with an overdue needed plan to set her up for success for well-being. Spears is due in court in May if the local DA in California decides to file charges. Hannah, Sophie.
Andrea, thanks. Coming up, one of the best job offers we've ever seen.
You can sign me up for this one. Plus, the delicate effort to save a pelican in big trouble.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with one less thing to worry about.
An asteroid that reportedly had a good chance of crashing into the moon no longer is a threat. NASA says the 200-foot space rock now has 0 chance of making contact with the moon in 2032.
They now say it'll miss by 13,000 miles. Next, a thrilling finish in college hoops.
Take a look.
Whitlock gets to the line, puts it up for the win. It's good!
That is incredible. The buzzer beater giving Lehigh a stunning win over Holy Cross. From the ball going through the net to a pelican going into one.
Yeah, this was at a college baseball game in Santa Barbara. A pelican flew into the net along the third baseline and got stuck. Fans jumped into action, helping the bird get untangled, and a coach tried to shoo it away.
Oh yeah, but it took another guy to wrap the pelican in a towel and carry it out to safety. It looks like even the players stopped to see what was going on. Want to get that guy to safety. Okay, next, a chance to make a 6-figure salary while just enjoying fast food.
Wendy's is hiring a chief tasting officer. The salary is $100,000. You basically just eat Wendy's and create promotional content. To apply, you need to submit a video. And finally, another one reduced to rubble.
Another Vegas casino imploded to make way for new housing. The East Side Cannery Hotel and Casino was known more by locals than tourists. It closed during the pandemic and never opened again.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, the U.S. and Israel are vowing to launch a more punishing wave of attacks on Iran as they wrap up the first week of the war. A massive Iranian drone carrier went up in flames after taking a hit from U.S. forces. And Iran is not letting up, attacking U.S. allies in the Middle East and with missiles and drones. Meanwhile, as gas prices rise here at home, the Trump administration has announced a plan to boost global oil supplies by temporarily lifting sanctions on Russian oil.
In a major shift, the U.S. and Venezuela are reestablishing diplomatic relations. It follows the capture of President Nicolas Maduro in January.
24 states have filed a lawsuit trying to block President Trump's new global tariffs. The states accused Trump of sidestepping the Supreme Court after it struck down his initial tariffs.
A service honoring the late Reverend Jesse Jackson is being held today in Chicago. Former Presidents Clinton, Obama, and Biden will be among the speakers.
Today's weather, more severe storms in the plains after 2 deaths in Oklahoma, and icy conditions for the morning commute in southern New England.
And finally, this weekend's Super Bowl of sign spinning.
Danny New gives it a whirl.
For professional sign spinner Tyler Cartwright, whenever he's advertising for a company on the street, he's really just getting ready for the ultimate annual 2-dimensional baton showdown.
This is the real prize right here.
Whoa!
That's your first place sign trophy.
This weekend, for the 19th time, sign spinners like Tyler from around the globe will once again travel to Las Vegas for the World Sign Spinning Championship.
The guys that are going to be in the finals this year,
spun over 1,000 hours on the corner last year.
Max Durovich here is the CEO of Aero Sign Spinners, which hosts this judged freestyle competition to crown the planet's best pointy mini billboard twirler. Over the years, the contest has seen entrants from as far as Germany, Panama, and Australia. In fact, Tyler has even traveled to countries like South Korea and Australia to help spread this craft. But how hard is it actually to land these tricks?
Where we going, Katie? Look out!
Well, 3 years ago, I took a few lessons from the Denver team, and as you can see, totally reinvented the sport.
I lost a lot of weight.
It may look pretty tiring, but here's why Denver sign spinner Shimon Ingram tells me he still finds this unique occupation so satisfying.
I have people pull over and be like, "Hey, you just brightened up my day so much," and it fuels my soul.
So the championship will start spinning Saturday in Las Vegas at the Fremont Street Experience. And the team tells me, guys, there will be live training sessions with the fans. If you want to give this a whirl.
Really talented, Danny. That's your Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day and a great weekend, everyone.